Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. We're coming to you live from the new Investor Tribe studio. Today's episode is brought to you by Kentucky Private Lending. Reach out to them today to start your investment journey. Investing can be intimidating, right, Milton?
Of course it can be, but we're here to help you skip the guesswork.
I'm Hampton Skurlock.
I'm Milton Ali, and you're watching the Investor Tribe podcast. So, you know what? It's only right that we have the most amazing guests on our show. You think about that, like all year, we have amazing people that roll up.
We do,
that
all year
pull
long.
up. And we have someone who is a friend of the pod who's been in the background forever, finally wanting to be in front of the camera with us.
Yes, and it makes us look so much, more average or below average, and brings out that we're not that good looking or attractive when you have
that is true
and vibrant and full of personality, and we're very glad to have Rachel here. She's helped us on a lot of events.
Rachel Guonot is in the building. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, welcome,
Happy
Rachel.
to be here.
Yes, and so it is super cool to be able to celebrate Christmas, right? I think you went full with the hat, bruh. You know what I mean? Like, you fully, like, are you I see the lights around there. Are you a light hanger guy, like, around your house and all that?
No, but we do, garland and the tree and decorations, and they always go up the minute after Halloween. So the day after Halloween, everything goes up.
Bro, that's
presents
demonic.
are wrapped. My wife is just
Halloween?
The day after.
The day after Halloween?
Yes,
no,
November 1st.
That's just something. I don't think that's right.
The presents are wrapped. Okay. Decorations go up. It's her routine. She's done it, and I just go along with it.
So for our household, it's the minute after Thanksgiving. Like, Thanksgiving is over, the very next day, my wife is asking me to go to garage, pull the Christmas tree down, because we were using real trees. Now we use fake because, save the environment, whatever. And so now I pull everything down from the garage, and in our whole, family room is just filled with these boxes with everything. And my wife and my daughter just make a whole day of it.
That sounds like fun. What about you, Rachel? What's your decorations of choice? Or
Well, normally I do put up a Christmas tree, but I have a cat and she likes to knock it down, so I kind of not really been decorating as much because of her.
So here's what we want you to do. Put up your Christmas tree next year. Record your cat taking it down. Okay. And we'll run it on a pod next year.
It's the easiest way to get the Christmas decorations down is let the cat do it,
That would look hilarious.
I think I've seen some of those videos on America's AFM, America's Funniest
whatever,
Videos, whatever it is nowadays. So you may win $10,000 if you get a real good video.
Right. Now I don't like cats, but I like cat videos. Is that even a thing?
Yeah.
If you're willing to admit it,
they do crazy videos. You know what I'm saying? And it's the holiday season. Think about that. I mean, I got nothing but time to watch some crazy cat videos.
I do have a Christmas sweater to put her in, but she doesn't like to stay in it either. So she'll when you put her in it, she'll circle around backwards and then she'll try to swoop out of it. It's really funny. I'll send you that video too.
Oh yes, please do, because watching cats suffer is my real one. Like when they get a bath or when they have to have their thing that covers their face because they're trying to bite the person who's trying to clean them, or if they're getting their nails clipped and all that kind of stuff, and or my favorite one is the one where they wear a GoPro.
Oh yes, and they're going hiking and all the things.
Yeah, they're just rolling through the entire neighborhood. Yeah. So it's just, now, do you do decorations at all?
I will try to do them up high, so I'll do garland like you had mentioned. I'll do the cabinets and that kind of thing, but if it's on the floor or close to the floor, I just try to. I will put a Christmas tree outside my front door sometimes, a little mini one, because she can't touch it.
So Hampton, how many Christmas trees do you have in your house?
We are more of a wreath family. My wife, one of her first jobs was in a Hallmark type store with candles and wreaths and decorations and those darn little bears that cost.
So you're committed.
We have committed a lot of storage space.
Committed a lot of storage space
to the Christmas and other holidays, and we have so many wreaths. I know that there's wreath hangers and holders, so you can maximize all the wall space when your boxes pile up so high, because wreaths don't stack too well. So they even have wreath Tupperware containers.
They do. We have two. We have two of those things, and I was gonna bring one to the studio. My wife will probably, call me and be like, "Oh, where's the other wreath?" So I left it there, because I wanted to bring it to the studio just to decorate the studio, because we're like, we need something, and my wife was like, we're gonna put up that wreath.
Well, I brought in a couple into the office. My wife will never miss them. I don't even know if they're gonna make it back home. She's gonna, if she ever does realize they're missing, she'll put up wanted posters, and she'll, I don't know if she'll recognize them, but we're that's where a lot of these decorations came around the office. We're just our excess.
Okay, and so what we should do is, before we spin the wheel, I do have a question. Do you know anybody that has storage, that pays for storage just for their Christmas decorations?
Not offhand, but it wouldn't surprise me.
No, but I know somebody that put shelving in their basement, and like they have some nice shelving, and they just have bins, so they did that, but not a storage unit off site.
See, that's crazy, because I showed a house where the guy, this is in the middle of July, had a whole Christmas train set up. Like it was a winter wonderland.
That's pretty cool.
And it was owned by a guy. So it was just him by himself in the house, but he had a whole Christmas setup, and it's absolutely crazy. I think it's time to spin the wheel.
Hey, Rachel, you'd ask about the wheel sitting back there. Now you get the chance to spin it.
Yeah. Cards gear. Well, Milton already beat us to that.
Well, this is really for Hampton that has to wear some cards gear. So what we'll do is we'll arrange that.
UK fan?
Yes, I like both teams, but I'm more of a UK fan.
How do you feel about the coach getting fired?
I don't follow it all that close, but that was a beatdown recently.
Yes, and so game. You know what? It's a split, because my Michigan team was not able to pull a fifth victory in a row, which, look, I mean, Ohio was the better team this year, and only this year, but at least my Cards won. So, you can't win them all. And Detroit, which I'm always going to represent, literally they lost to Milwaukee last night, breaking the 17-win streak.
That's pretty good. And when you said Ohio, you mean the Ohio State University, right?
Yeah, oh boy, yes. All right, fair enough, man. But y'all really good. I mean, that's just, I can't front. Y'all really good. I mean,
national champs and
really good. I mean, that's just, you guys are really good. So, next year I know we're going to be a lot better, and we're going to be a contender, and we'll see. Can you imagine that? Were you were around for our preseason one, like our episode 0, like our season 0, because I feel like there's different iterations of our podcast. We had the time where we were at SharePoint Equity, and it was only like 3 people watching. It was my mom, it was your dad, and Rachel. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just, and Drew. And the only reason Drew watched it because he edited the pod. You know what I'm saying?
Because we were paying him, yeah.
Because we were paying him to edit the pod. So we really had like 3 people watching the pod, and now it's like we're running the numbers and we're seeing like at least 25,000 people a week. Like that is just, we've grown quite a bit.
And added some platforms.
And added platforms and doing all that. And now we're doing first of in a week or so, literally 2026 and season 2.
Yep, so it's been a crazy year, and that's probably a good way to kind of round up the year and talk about some of the craziest deals, best deals, worst deals, craziest stories we've got, because it has been a bit of a crazy, in a good way, year, a lot of ways. So
hey, you know what we're going to do is why don't you go ahead and run the trailer, because it's epic.
I think it's so important for people to have resources in their life. we often talk about building yourself a team. When you are an investor or you're just a regular buyer, it's important for you to have a team.
I wish I would have owned that property. I should have spent a little bit extra money. And sometimes it's tough to do at the time, but in hindsight, you look back and the things you missed or you should have or could have owned. But what advice do you have for a new investor that wants to try to get out of that rat race?
You know what a professional tenant is?
I've seen some. I've heard horror stories from landlords.
Yeah.
But how do you know they're a professional tenant? And how do you screen against that or protect yourself is the big question.
To see him walk away with a $98,000 check at the closing table from a flip that we had put together, and it was amazing for him to walk away with that kind of money.
When you are talking to an agent who's going to be able to represent an investor at a high level, there's a set of skills and a system that they need to follow and understand in order to have the outcomes that they would like for their business, as well as for their investor and what their goals are.
So Milton, you talked about not really loving cats per se, but the cat's antics and videos and such. You would have loved one of my craziest deals or craziest stories from 2025. We bought hoarder houses before. We bought houses that had different issues or full. The hoarder houses are full of things. I bought a cat hoarder house. This lady hoarded cats. She would take in strays, and they were everywhere, inside and all around this house. We bought the house and let them stay for a little bit. They had some financial problems. Me trying to be a nice guy, help them out, solve a problem. They and the cats overstayed their welcome, and then when they're moving out,
That's crazy.
They left the cats.
Oh, that's
for
even
me,
worse.
and they were trying. The old owners were trying to break into the house, or just come by the house and throw food into a window, so to feed the cats. And so we had to get Humane Society involved. We tried to get them adopted, spayed, neutered. It took a while, and then we found out that this is another county than what we live in, so it's not in Milton, but surrounding county.
Right.
And they told us over the past few years they've had to take cats away for health issues or abuse, and it was 76 cats that they have taken or saved from this family, and there's probably more cats than that. Not all of them were saved or taken or removed. But yeah, 76 cats that were.
Would you have had adopted some, Rachel?
No, I can barely handle one. I would not have gotten another
And what's
cat.
your cat's name?
Indy.
Indy could have had a whole bunch of playmates. He could have started a cat gang.
They would have started a cat gang running around the streets of Louisville, just terrorizing, right? Just terrorizing. You know what? I've had my series of crazy deals. I think, this year has, we've had a series of crazy deals. So I sold this one house, and it was in the West End. And basically, I went in the house, and I'm taking pictures because it was a trap house. I'm taking pictures, and I literally, so the deal wasn't really crazy. It was the beginning. It was getting ready for the deal, right? So I walk out, and, I took pictures because it was just really a cheaper house. And I literally see a pimp with one of his workers at the corner.
You should have sold him or her the house and talked about great proximity to the workplace. This is such a convenient location. You're a good salesman, Milton. I'm surprised you didn't think of it right then and there. But so he was just right there, huh?
Wow, so first, my pimp card has been turned away. It has been torn up for years, so I don't think like that anymore. So there you go. But I've sold some pretty crazy, deals, and we've had some pretty crazy, deals this year. But that was by far, I've had some other crazy deals. We've seen a lot of different craziness that come across. Rachel, what about you? You're a real estate agent. You're a realtor. This is what's up. So what about one of your crazy deals?
Well, I've had experience with the cat this year too, where they were some older cats and it had their urine had seeped through to the subfloor. So that investor had a fun project to fix that up. And then another crazy deal, I got to be a little careful because we're still under contract and we're supposed to close this month.
Oh, okay.
But the crazy part in it is that it's been under contract since August. So it's been a roller coaster of up and downs on this one.
Yeah.
So we've been navigating that. But I feel like my crazy's been kind of chaos, together, if that makes sense. Like it's manageable crazy.
Awesome.
Speaking of crazy, it is the season for family and holidays.
Yep.
Milton, have you had any experience, selling, buying, working with family as a realtor? Is that anything you'd recommend?
Oh my goodness! So funny you bring that up because one of the cool things is that I was able to help my mother sell her house down in Texas. So shout out to my mom, and we actually moved my mother-in-law, and we're still doing that. So she lives closer to us, and so that's where we're kind of in that in that space where you're kind of making sure that not only the kids are taken care of, but your parents are taken care of. You can relate to that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So we're just trying to get them moved, and so we got them moved, and that's okay. And so we're doing some other things, and so shout out to family. So I'm definitely glad that all that's been taken care of.
And I know we probably had some emotional. You talk about the roller coaster of dealing with a property for 4+ months. Is it going to sell? Deal with buyers, sellers, contractors, appraisers, lenders. You probably dealt with it all over multiple deals, but that one there. Have there been any emotional moments for either of you during the year? That either tugged at your heartstrings or pushed you over the edge in anger, or what type of emotions have you felt with real estate in this year?
I felt it all. I feel like too, because a lot all my clients, they are my sphere too, so I've known them for a really long time, and I feel like it starts out all happy and exciting, and then there's a bump that hits in the road, like during your inspections, your appraisals, or something of the sort. And then they're just kind of, I don't know if this is really going to work out. And then it's all the emotions. And then when you finally close, it's like, okay, you really did it. Or, if it's somebody on the verge of a foreclosure, that's an emotional wave. And then the gratitude that comes from them at the end of the deal, it's like, wow, you just saved us from that. Thank you. But in the middle of it, there's tears and all the things. So all the emotions.
Yeah. You know what? It's really interesting to have the emotional closes because there was some closings this year where I literally brought bourbon to a couple of them. Where I'm buying bourbon because one of my investors, had to take some, had some contractor issues, had some tax issues, had several other things going on, and I saw that happening, and I saw the closing disclosure statement, and I saw that dollar amount that they were walking away with, and I was like, you know what, here's a bottle of bourbon. And they were going on vacation. They were like, yes, thank you for the bottle of bourbon. But then I helped another family move into a home that's going to be worth, almost $1 million when they're done. And so I brought them bourbon for a different reason, right? Because it's time for celebration. And so right now they're doing renovations, and those renovations are going to really blow up the value. So they're super excited, and I'm, it's always good to be able to help people on both sides of it, and so shout out to, Lake Forest, because that's where there's room for a lot of improvement. So, so you heard it here.
I'll also say another emotional moment too is I've been trying for 3 years to get some clients back to Shelby County that are in Bloomfield, and we finally found their perfect land for them to build. So it was just emotional to go out to the land and be hands-on and measure the property and be there for it all too.
Didn't you do a video?
I
with
did.
You,
I did
like
a TikTok.
you and your friend jumping up and down. That's what that was.
So for a perk test, like when you buy land,
right.
you have to go out there and mark where you want to put your house. So then when the health department gets out there, they're like, okay, we'll dig here. So we were out there measuring where we wanted to put it, putting stakes in the ground. So yes, I did do a TikTok.
So that is
that.
So I didn't know what that was about. I just thought you were doing wide open spaces like the Dixie Chicks. I just thought you were just. I thought you were just I don't know. Yeah, I mean like I was like, well, that's Rachel. Yeah.
It was just an emotional moment because it's like we've been trying for that long to get them back to Shelby County. We'll be listing their house here soon. They're getting it ready, but it's just heartwarming. So their first new build, and then so.
Are you looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Reach out to my team at OllieSellsLouisville.com. That's OllieSellsLouisville.com. I'm Milton.
I'm Hampton.
I'm Drew.
And we want to wish you a Merry Christmas. The cool thing about this time is that I am so thankful for the team at Bespoke, and as well, but even more grateful for the people that have come up to me and the people who have said, hey man, I've seen your podcast and I never thought that the impact would be great. I mean, I've had new investors come up to me and was like, hey man, I'm learning how to invest in real estate and I watch you guys. And it just kind of makes you feel like, man, it's a responsibility.
We're making a difference. Yeah,
making a difference in, in new investors and even some experienced investors. So what about you, man?
Yeah, I'm thankful for everybody out there, our viewers, our sponsors, our guests at the events. We're very blessed. We get to talk, sit here with Drew and Aaron and talk real estate, try to help people. So it's a pretty darn good.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Kentucky Private Lending. I think they have been an amazing partner.
And founding sponsor,
in this, yes, and founding sponsor in years. And shout out to everybody who has went to invtribe.com. I think, the communities are up and people are joining the Fire Starters community. It seems like that's the biggest community that we have so far, which was
still free.
Which is still free, right? We didn't go up on any prices, so it's still free. And you can join us today at invtribe.com. Drew?
And from all of us at Bespoke Marketing to our friends at the Investor Tribe and all of our real estate compatriots, we want to say Merry Christmas. We don't want to pretend as though there has been no growth here. You will actually see that there's been a tremendous growth from the beginning of Season 1 all the way to this brand new studio. And what that has been, in full transparency, has been feedback from our viewers. And that's our entire goal. We're so honored to have had about 1 million views throughout the year, aggregately across all of our platforms. That means a lot of people are watching, but with everyone watching, that also means there's a lot of people with a lot of opinions. And
with great power comes great responsibility, right?
Absolutely. And so those opinions and feedback we have taken to heart, and we're trying to build a better and more engaging platform for you. After all, this is why we do it. If it wasn't for our viewers and the fact that we can help them, then this wouldn't exist. So continue to please tell us how we can improve, what you want to learn, what you want to see, and we're gonna give that right to you in the best and most professional way that we can. So thank you, and here's to a successful Season 2.
And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. And I know it can seem like it's a complicated process. That's one of the reasons why we started the Investor Tribe. We want to encourage you to join and become a member today. Go to invtribe.com. We have education, there's deals, and there's community, and so much more. Go to invtribe.com. Skip the guesswork. Join the tribe. New Year's resolution. So 2026. Like, what are some of your goals for 2026?
Well, no, we talked about we've got a little office, weight loss thing, so that'll be a New Year's resolution to have a little, get a little bit more, fit, healthy. When I was blown out knee and a little tough to, work out or get out and about like I like, and put on some of the weight and inactivity. So, but then productivity. I also want to, really improve the platform, add these forms, videos, libraries. I really want to build the tools up for our community during 2026. What about you? What do you have for goals and resolutions 2026?
So the goal for, one of my major goals, I think, is to work on my own personal weight situation, man. Like, so many times your business grows to the extent that you do. So the goal is for me to grow, and everything else grows by extension. I think, if you are an investor, or if you are, a realtor, or you're any type of profession, your business and everything around you grows to the extent that you do. So this year has been a really good year of layering on some fundamental disciplines. So I've been, ever since we did that weight challenge at the meeting a month ago, I'm, between 7 to 10 pounds down. And so now it's just building momentum on that by working out, doing some other things. And, and it starts now for us, right? It started, right before Thanksgiving for us, right? Because we were like, New Year's resolutions don't necessarily start on New Year's Day. They start when you decide.
Why wait?
So,
it started today.
Yeah. Why wait? You know what I'm saying? So we've done our thing, and you know what I'm saying? And so I think that's important. What about you, Rachel?
My New Year's resolution is to simplify. If I could put it in one word, I'd probably say simplify. Just because I feel like there's a lot of 2025 was rough. There was a lot of stuff that kind of just happened. So I feel like 2026, I'm laying it all out and just simplifying it down to like figure out and make sure I'm on the right trajectory there. But yeah.
And so how do we keep these things going without necessarily giving up? Like, I think that's a huge one, because right now during Christmas, everyone's thinking about that, right? Everyone's thinking about it. They're like, oh man, how do we stay on top of our resolutions without necessarily giving up?
I have an answer to that, actually. So I once saw this. It was like a quote, post, statement, something, and it was like plants and Mother Nature, they go into hibernation and all the die during winter and it's cold, and then they pop out in the spring. And the theory behind it is that you as a person, you're supposed to rest through the winter. So in a business perspective, that's when you're supposed to be doing your marketing, doing your touches, talking to your clients, that kind of thing, in the slow winter season. So when spring comes up, you just bloom and everything's kind of in track there. So I feel like to stay on track with your resolutions, you need to rest. So when everything else in Mother Nature is hibernating, you as a human rest yourself and do things to get ready for the spring. And I feel like it kind of keeps you in line there.
I love that. That. One of the ways that, when you got to do your marketing, so shout out to Bespoke Marketing. If you need that plan, you can reach out to those guys, right? One of the things that I firmly believe, and I'm a big tracker of my own numbers. If you're an investor, you have to track your numbers. As an investor, as a realtor, which is my day job, I track my numbers. I know my numbers. I can get better at that. You cannot measure what you can't manage. Well, you can't manage what you can't measure. That's what I meant to say. And so it's so important for you to know your numbers. And how many sales have you had in the last year? How many sales have you done? What is your total? I'm literally looking at, I'm grateful. I am definitely grateful. And going over my numbers for the year, and then for my career, I'm a little over 200 homes sold and over $33 to $34 million in sales. And so I am grateful for all of the people and who have helped me get there, and I'm going to improve and grow upon that as time goes on. And so being able to understand your numbers and where you are is super important.
And I say make the goals you talked about being measurable, but also manageable. So I heard a story recently. Charles Barkley, when he came into the league, NBA, he was overweight. He put on a bunch of weight because he didn't want to go to a particular team, and then he ended up getting drafted a little later.
That's right.
And he went in and man, this guy's a little too big. He's going to be too lazy. He won't be successful in the league. And a veteran took him under the wings. Said, hey, let's go lose. Let's work on losing 5 pounds.
Right.
And Charles, I think I could do that. 5 pounds went off, and then 10 pounds went off. He's like, let's try to lose another 10 pounds.
Right.
And then before he knew it, he was down 10, another 10, and then he was down 50 pounds. And Charles said, I never would have been able to do that had he told me up front I got to lose 50 pounds. But he told me, measurable goals: lose 5, lose 10, lose another 10, lose another 10. And he had an accountability partner. So he had a manageable, measurable, goals to reach his ultimate goal or his partner's ultimate goal to get him, productive.
Yeah, smart goals. And you can find that partner at the Investor Tribe. So you can go to invtribe.com right now and join the Fire Starters group and just post that you're looking for an accountability partner. If you're looking to get started, so that's another thing too. Like, we're probably buying about 4 or 5 houses next year, and and just building the portfolio, growing our personal portfolio. But if you're looking for an accountability partner, go to invtribe.com right now and join the Fire Starters. Yep. All right.
Or come out to the meetups.
Yeah, or come out to our meetups.
And we're not perfect. Nobody out there is perfect.
Right.
So people are going to make mistakes. So speaking of mistakes, you can also enjoy our blooper reel coming up. Which that maybe should be one of our New Year's resolutions, to make less mistakes.
Right.
Less bloopers, and then you wouldn't enjoy those as much. So our mistakes are here to entertain you, and Drew as well. I think he's involved in a few of those mistakes and errors.
Well, he edited himself out because he's not gonna make himself look like any. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, Aaron probably won't be in there much because Aaron. I don't know if Aaron makes
No.
mistakes.
Aaron's not in there. Aaron's don't make mistakes. Aaron's great. He's perfect. I'm talking about Drew.
He's going to edit out his mistakes.
He edit out his mistakes. He makes himself look, like even if he was looking like he was falling, he'll edit and make it look like he was diving into the water perfectly.
Flying to save a child from a burning vehicle from a submerged. Yeah.
So hey, we're going to answer some questions submitted to us right after this. Are you sick of living paycheck to paycheck? So was I. That's one of the main reasons we started the Investor Tribe. We want to encourage you to join, where you can learn, you can find deals, you can fund those deals. There's community and so much more. We want you to skip the guesswork, join the tribe. Go to invtribe.com today. We're back with some questions, and we get questions. You can go ahead and drop the questions in the Facebook group, or you can submit questions on any of our platforms, whether it's YouTube, whether it is Instagram, and if we find it in time, we'll go ahead and make sure that we read the questions. And so let's open up a couple questions, man.
All right, Rachel, you want to do the honors?
Sure. Okay, our first question. Our first letter is from Anita M. in Louisville, Kentucky. She said, I'm retiring in 2 months and want to start investing in real estate. Where do I start?
Well, she's at the right place. We take a lot of guesswork out of real estate investing.
That's right.
Network, go to the meetups, figure out what your goals are. We just talked about goals. Do you want to replace an income? What type of capital resources do you have? What skills? Do you have a partner? Do you have contractors? Do you need to build teams and networks of these people before you really get started? So, we're not going to give investment or tax advice here, but network, learn, education is a great place to start before you dive into this. But also, don't let it hold you back. Don't wait forever to buy real estate. Buy real estate and then wait. Let it work for you.
That's right. All right. Go ahead, Rachel.
All right. Our next question is from Jeannie L. from Austin, Texas. And they said, how do I build a team? Who do I need, and where do I find them?
Woo, shout out to Austin.
Good question.
Shout out to Austin. You know what I'm saying? And that's super cool because we're seeing people from different places, which is, I kind of love that. But shout out to Austin, Texas. So how do I build a team? So one of the things that I got this from a couple of books and from Gary Keller, co-founder of Keller Williams. He says that you are the CEO of your own life, business, and if you are building a team for the purposes of investing in real estate, you are the CEO. You're creating the energy, which means you're finding the money. You're engaging talent, and that's the centerpiece of that CEO, and you're owning the results. That is the O part of it. And so how do you build a team? That is one person at a time, and you engage the talent. Talent lives for the service of others. A person can be a really great plumber, and you find one, and you also can find an electrician. You can find these individuals by referral, or you can go out and search for them. Like if you're early in the morning, I suggest going to a hardware store, Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever you want to, whatever store is around you, you go there early and you look for someone who has the t-shirt or who has a polo shirt. Now, if they have a nice polo shirt, they might cost a little bit more than the person that has a t-shirt. Okay? So just kind of bear that in mind. That's not always true. However, you're building a team. And so you do need someone. You need someone like a Kentucky Private Lending. There's probably going to be you can get a private lender that's out there in Texas, right? You can also get someone who's a title company. I don't know if you are a real estate agent or if not, then you find a great real estate agent. Then you find, different pieces of your team to start building that up. And so, I hope that answers the question or at least can help you get started. Go to invtribe.com, join the fire starters, and we can hook you up from there.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Rachel, for coming out today. You certainly spiced up and beautified our podcast for the time you've been on here.
Yes,
so appreciate all you do for the tribe. And I think we have our next guest coming up pretty soon, Mr. John Rickert.
Yep. So shout out. Thank you.
Got some big shoes.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
John's got some big shiny shoes to fill, doesn't he?
Yes.
I'll give him my boots on my way out.
I don't know if you get a picture of those or you get those.
Right.
Are great.
Right.
Milton needs a pair of those.
All right, and we'll move the break right now. Managing real estate can be complicated. Get one thing off your plate and contact our friends at Liberty Mutual or call 1-800-266-0644 and mention Milton Ali. You can also use my code KY-444689 for your free quote today.
So a while back we had Scott Pinnell on the pod.
Yep, yeah, we did.
And we spun the wheel. We also we're gonna give a goat.
Yes.
So we're gonna give a goat to his charity at giveagoat.org. And you were saying that they provide cheese, milk,
cheese. Because what they did is they have a farm in Africa. They started the charity. It's ran by by local people that's there, but they help start the charity where a goat in a village or a goat for a family is often a means of survival. And so he was talking about that, and I just thought that was absolutely amazing. So shout out to Scott, shout out to Give a Goat, and giveagoat.org. You can give today.
All right. Come on in.
John, what's up?
Speaking of goats and the greatest of all time.
Happy holidays.
Oh my gosh.
How are y'all doing?
Man, doing good. Dude, we're not calling you a goat, man. We're you are the goat, greatest of all time.
I'll take that.
Loan
officers, man. And
I'll take that.
So yeah, we want to welcome you to the pod, man. Merry
Thank
Christmas.
you for having
dude.
me back. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, all the fun stuff.
You could have been anywhere, vacation, doing all the cool things, but you decided to join us.
Well, I'm doing loans, and I had a little break, so I came over here to see you guys. I can't go on vacation.
Man, you're doing loans right before Christmas?
Oh, dude, it's the busiest it's ever been. 4 record-breaking months this year. We're probably going to do another record in January. It's crazy.
Nice.
December's a mess because of all the holidays and keeping up with it, but because of it, January ends up being pretty heavy. So
it tends to be a mess in all of our world because people are trying to do their 1031s, people are trying to just make sure that they sell. We close out the end of the year strong, and so there are several balls I got juggling in the air. Just
holidays, weather delays.
Yes.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
tough,
Well, and Christmas
Yeah.
this year's midweek, too, which basically ruins the entire week. You can tell me you're going to work on Monday. I do not believe you. like I'm going to try to work Monday, but it's going to be working with hot cocoa and a TV on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's exactly true, man. I mean, that's where, because over the Thanksgiving holiday, it was just like we barely didn't hear anything. And from anybody, it was like we were sending out emails and no one's responding until after Thanksgiving. And so
Right.
now that it's Christmas, it's like a whole nother level of everything. And so it's super cool. And so do you have Christmas plans this year? And
I'm going to stay at home, go see some family members, of course, drive around the city. But most of my family, luckily, is here or reasonably in town. So we're going to just stick around and do that.
Any bourbon tours or bourbon tastings you're going to do on the breaks? Or
No.
bourbon?
But as soon as Christmas is over, though, we're leaving for Key West. Me and the wife are going to do a road trip down to Key West, drive all the way down, drive all the way back, and just go somewhere warm when it's cold.
And you went down to Florida last year too, didn't you? Or a while back? Okay.
Yeah, we went down to Florida last year for the Rockville. It's kind of like the Bourbon and Beyond tour here, but it's Florida's version of it. It's a lot of fun. We like to do a road trip once a year where we don't have an exact plan. We just kind of stop wherever we see and see if it's a good time,
love it. And so, now you don't have property down there, do you?
No, I'm actively looking in Florida. Florida's a
Like
great place
Boca
to
Raton?
invest. I wish I could afford that.
Yeah, hey man, I heard that that's the sixth borough of New York. so I figured you'd be around your people down there, around all the all the good rich folks down there.
I wish, man. I don't have that kind of money. I mean, Florida's great. Like, I've honestly looked all over the state. It's hard to decide where you want to be when you're coming from out of state, because you come down for a week or two and you see all the good fun stuff. But of course, it's all roses, right? You're on vacation, so it all looks great. Really trying to find people that, like, I would like to set up another office down there. We already do loans in Florida, but I'd like to have another hub and put a couple loan officers down there in the city and state area. So we've looked at Destin, we looked at Tampa, we looked at Sarasota, and we went down to Orlando as well to kind of scope it out.
And see, we were looking in Michigan because one of the main things we almost pulled the trigger, and we just I have one half conversation with Hampton. He's like, "Hey man, have you thought about this, and this?" And I'm like, "Man, I'm the real estate agent. Like what? Like why are you running all this at me?" And I was like, you know what? Hey, honey,
I'm semi-retired.
we
I
haven't
got
thought about this at all. We just like what we saw and was like, and sometimes it's even good to run your ideas by people, because sometimes, I get caught up in the emotions too.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And so we're thinking, so the only reason we didn't pick Florida is because it's hard to insure. And so that's that was the big deal for us. We were just like, oh no.
One of the guests said anything 50 miles from the coasts, the rates had gone up quite a bit, or it's difficult to get insurance on some properties, and even though some of the values had dropped after storms and things, getting them insured was very difficult or very expensive.
But
it still
I
is.
don't want to be 50 miles away from the coast.
It still is.
Because what's the use? I'm in the area.
Mm-hmm.
I want something to look good.
Sure.
I want it to look good. If I'm spending that kind of money, I need to be able to see something that looks good. But but I also don't want it to wash away.
Sure. Well, here's the thing. It's priced into the price of real estate. And what I mean is a market's a market. Once the insurance picks up, the prices of homes slow down a little bit to compensate. So it will always come out in the woodwork. But there's places in Florida that have low hurricane hit ratings that are better than others, right? That you can try to avoid, that are still near the coastlines or close enough. Like, for example, you're going to get hit if you're not 50 miles inland. But if you're more than 3 miles inland, most insurance companies have a dramatic drop in rate coverage price. So you don't have to be the full 50 away. It's the further, the better, right? And each carrier is a little bit different. But, I do loans for investors in Florida all the time. They're still buying up houses like crazy. They're all Airbnbs down there. I mean, it's just Airbnb central.
Yeah, it is. And so part of me is like, you know what, let's just roll down there and just stay in the Airbnb and not necessarily do the whole investment because, I'm using this war analogy, but in ancient times, whenever you fought a war, you needed to be near water for resources for your horses and all that kind of stuff, right? If you don't have the resources, the talent, and all that, the work, I mean, you probably have contacts down there. And while I do have contacts, I don't necessarily have trusted advisor and a team. Those are two different things. And so you got to have that built up before you want to start really making inroads anywhere. It's sort of like, do I have a capo, so to speak?
Sure.
Do I have these individuals that can get out here and do what they need to do on my behalf?
Yeah, well, and luckily for me, two of the agents I do loans for that refer me business, they manage Airbnbs because down there, that's what most agents are doing is managing Airbnbs.
Yeah.
So you connect with a couple of good ones, that are well trained and know what they're doing. It's kind of a no miss. And for me, since I plan on probably being down there part of the year because of opening an office, right, it would be a pseudo second home for my situation for me. So it's kind of a unique position because there's business involved to be down there, but I'm still wanting to Airbnb it and not pay for it all the time.
Ooh, you can buy one of those. Do they have any of those 2 stories where the apartments on the
the
second
mixed use
floor,
ones?
And then you have like one of the mixed use, so you can have an office front,
a live suite,
so you can just kind of go down the steps and now you're at your office.
Yep. There's actually one of those here in town, believe it or not, that another lender does, and they do have a whole bunch of those down there in Florida where they're mixed use suites. I've looked at them, you know what I mean? The problem with those is they tend to be in commercial zones, and I don't know if I want to live in a commercial zone.
Right.
Backyard is a parking lot.
Yeah, right.
Because the amenities are not really there, and it's not really a cool kind of like, oh, you can't walk anywhere. You got to like drive like 20 minutes to go anywhere. So that makes sense.
I'd prefer something where I can, if I'm down there in the winter, it's warm, I go down there and help out the office, do some marketing, advertising, and when I'm gone, my agent can put it up on Airbnb to help offset the cost. And, my office will pick up the tab for most of it because it's got to pay for me being down there.
So I'm going to have to look in. I love Florida from the standpoint that there is clear water, right, near Tampa. And that's where I would want to be is Tampa because Tampa's 30 minutes away from from Lakewood.
How far is it from Disney?
Orlando? No, a couple hours. So, it's a couple hours from Orlando.
I think it's a 3-hour trip.
I believe I think it's Lakewood or Lakeland. Lakeland is where the Detroit Tigers do their spring training and
that's
spring
cool.
camp. So, went to a game. I love it. Ever since then, I just fell in love because there's so many people walking around with Detroit hats on.
Yeah.
It's like the only other place where you find so many Detroit hats because they're the major employer in Lakeland. And so it's just super cool just to see people with Detroit hats and alligators.
Right.
Like it's like, okay, well, there you go.
Well, and if you could reside in Florida too, you can save yourself 5%, 6%, 7% depending on the state you come from. They don't have income tax in Florida.
That's right.
No,
That's
you know,
right.
so
That's
like
right.
if you're a decent sized earner, like if you're in Kentucky, I think it's 5 1/8 is what we pay here right now, something like that. You make $150,000 a year as a family, you're giving up $7,500 to the state of Kentucky that you wouldn't be giving up to Florida.
See, that's super cool. That's super cool. I think now it's time to spin the wheel.
And we're back, and it's time to spin the wheel.
John, you have to spin the wheel.
Oh, so I do. Okay, here we go.
You have to spin the wheel.
Oh, the jump?
Yeah, I did. A give a goat, I think is what it says.
Give a goat. Oh, yeah. So we'll go ahead and we encourage everyone to go to giveagoat.org and we'll be donating as well.
Oh, cool.
Can we pretend like it landed on the bourbon shot one? And,
the bourbon shot.
Are y'all trying to get me drunk?
Season.
It's 11 a.m., just so we're clear.
Right. Right. So it's bourbon 30 for you, huh?
Well, we have kind of an inside joke. We all went out for dinner, and there was a bourbon sommelier, and he had like a master's degree in bourbon.
I didn't even know those guys existed out here in the streets.
Milton said, I want some alcohol-free bourbon. And John has a pretty good collection and knows his bourbon. I'm a novice compared to these guys. And John and I both looked at each other like, I don't know if they make that, Milton. We didn't want to tell him he's crazy, but then the sommelier is like, you're crazy. I never heard of that either. I know all my bourbons. I spent thousands of dollars in this class, but Mill's like, I swear it's out there. I had it somewhere. I can't remember where, and I'm going to find it, and I'll show you guys. And he did find it. So he found the alcohol-free bourbon.
That is
which
right.
we've not gotten to taste.
So next episode,
Mm-hmm.
the whole wheel,
Bourbon,
be a
bourbon.
bourbon
shots is all there, because if it's there, and then I have the alcohol-free bourbon. I'm not a drinker. I'm not a lush like you guys. So we'll just have.
We just like the
all
finer things, all right?
Right, finer things.
And while Milton
right.
enjoyed a Shirley Temple.
Right.
Or 6.
Right. Hey guys, look, we can make the whole thing about bourbon. I think that'll be super cool.
Hey, I'll do an episode on bourbon.
Yeah, that's super cool. All right, and so let's go ahead and
Stick the wheel back or get on the floor and
let's
move
get
on.
the floor. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna continue on. But so as far as so earlier we had Rachel in the building, and so. Basically, we asked her about the Christmas decor and all that. Do you do any of that? Is
My
your
wife
family
does.
Your wife? So you're not.
I am an unwilling slave.
That's right.
Yeah, I was informed that because I married her, I have to do Christmas decorations and all these things. I don't recall this being in the paperwork. I looked over it very closely, but
On the back page and
Well,
the
see, you
final
didn't sign
print.
a prenup.
yeah,
Well, it's not a prenup. It's like a premarital agreement. Whatever you
Yeah,
do,
sh-
like the prenup,
yeah,
it's like
sh-
you have to,
she said it's assumed common law is what she keeps telling me. So I don't really have I don't have a defense
It
against
sounds
this.
official.
I asked
Wow.
2 other
It
women
is
and they both
official.
tell me it was true, so I just assumed it was.
So is it? So how many Christmas trees do you guys put?
Just one. Thankfully, she's pretty reasonable about the decorations. We have one good Christmas tree.
Okay.
We decorate it. We do our simple decorations. She's pretty reasonable. She meets me in the middle on that
Are
aspect.
you so is she a light person with all the lights and the Christmas lights around the house? And
She
all that
likes
kind
the
of stuff?
ones that project the lights on the house.
Oh yeah,
Because-
Those are easier. That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, she panicked. She's not a huge fan of ladders and people being on them. And so and she really likes the idea of just being able to click a button and switch it, because she's like, I get tired of looking at the same thing. She's like, one day it's elves and one day it's snowflakes or whatever. She really likes those. And honestly, for me, I'm like, that's just a plug and a button. I'm here for it.
Right. That's very, very
that's
convenient.
Super cool. So we were talking about how we don't do Christmas lights outside.
Mm-hmm.
My wife does decorate the front door.
Mm-hmm.
And there's stickers. These stickers that are on the front door. She also puts a wooden igloo with a Christmas hat on the front porch. So it's more like a Christmas greeting. And there is our Christmas tree is it's not a wood. We buy the fake ones, not the real ones, but but it automatically lights up, and she has a light switch.
Yep.
And then there's music. So my daughter is all about pressing the button and playing the music, and it is overbearing. I'm looking for the volume thing. It only has loud and off. So it's and it just keeps ding, ding, ding. And it's just all of these different sounds, and it's just all through. You can hear it literally all over the house. And I am just okay. But my daughter loves this. And when does your Christmas stuff go up?
It's right after Thanksgiving.
See, so right after Thanksgiving. So, what
My
is
wife
your...
is Misty the day after Halloween.
That's right.
The morning after Halloween.
See, I don't think that's cool.
You're skipping Turkey Day.
No, we still
Right.
celebrate it.
No,
but
you
she's-
skipped it.
No,
you
you
can't
skipped Turkey Day.
decorate for one and celebrate another. That's
Right.
not how
So
that
my
works.
wife believes in right after. So we don't necessarily, ascribe to a Halloween
Sure.
per se. So we do an autumn thing. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
an autumn theme that can last through Halloween all the way through Thanksgiving,
Sure.
because it's the same kind of aesthetic for autumn,
seasonal
the
aesthetic,
seasonal
yeah.
thing dynamic. So we got a little not plastic, but we got the bale of hay, that we'll put up, and we'll have the little scarecrow that goes up. So it's all fall festive, right? And it's not a real scarecrow. It's just some whatever thing. And so that can last through Thanksgiving just fine. But Christmas, right after Halloween, I think that should make me king for a day. I'm criminalizing that.
Yeah,
I would go along with you.
I think it needs to hang out until at least December. I don't even think if you do it Friday after Thanksgiving, you're still evil. You gotta wait.
You're still evil.
You're taking away from Turkey
Now,
Day.
okay. Well,
you gotta wait. You gotta wait until December 1.
So my wife, right? So my
You gotta wait
wife,
till December
the
1.
day after Thanksgiving, because typically she has the day off.
Yeah.
So that's so Black Friday is when she put up our Christmas tree. Well, she had me go in our garage and do all that, and I had to go grab it, and it was just, and it was just definitely, definitely crazy. Drew said that your family's crazy.
I'm not gonna
bottom
argue
line, like
with him.
that's just, dude. I mean, that's just crazy. That's definitely crazy. And so, you know what, Drew, when does your Christmas tree go up?
It goes up at least the Sunday after Thanksgiving.
The Sunday after
See,
Thanksgiving. Do you
that-
have an
because
old timey like 1800s Christmas tree? Is it made of? Do you really? He does. Okay.
It doesn't have Christmas lights.
Drew has everything that's old timey. He's got the candles.
I mean, that's kind of Drew's aesthetic. I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
see
that's-
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
he's got a
basically-
man of the 70s
So
aesthetic.
if you go to,
1870s.
so if you've ever been to Drew's house, he has a 19th century, home, and literally, lamplighters still go by his house.
I think they deliver the ice blocks on.
They do
every other
and there's a
Tuesday.
milk delivery.
I was gonna say, where's the milkman?
The milkman.
You got Schwan delivery?
Right. They deliver milk to his house.
He has his own chickens.
Yes, he has
So-
his own chickens. I bought eggs from him. I mean,
Now,
you know what I'm saying?
When
So
we
he's super
donate
cool.
to give a goat, does Drew have any goats? Is he like we actually donating to Drew? And
So
he's
goats
got
are a
got
whole different
goat gang
Yeah.
on his
Mercy.
homestead.
And so but I think that's completely different. I mean, I've sold a house, and next door there was a goat next to it, and they had they had one goat, but they also had like close to a little over half of acre, so it was like 0.67 of an acre. So that works. So when you, oh my gosh, these kids. Yes, my daughter would have been like,
What size was it there, Bill?
right now,
6'7",
6'7".
6.67 of
Oh my
acre?
God.
That may be the first
Oh
reference
my
we've had on a
gosh!
podcast.
Yes,
This is the
Jen,
oldest I've ever felt in life right now.
Right. right, because you don't have kids that are on that time.
All
you know,
the time.
That demon
all
time.
the time. All the time. If whenever you say it, she's like, "Oh." So one of my clients yesterday we're looking at houses, and she's a middle school teacher. So I'm telling her about my daughter, and she was like, "Oh my gosh!" And it's like I want to just rip my hair out when all the kids are like 6, 7. You know, it's like that's just the whole thing. So I'm
I'm
my
not surprised by any of the trends. We had plenty of dumb trends from every age group.
yes, that's so true. But the trends tend to last longer.
Back then.
Back then, they last longer because there was no internet.
Well, yeah, because they couldn't disseminate. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Like,
You couldn't.
Took a
you
while
know.
to become cool, and that stayed cool for a while, and then you didn't find out it wasn't cool until a little later. It took a while, like John said, to disseminate
Right,
the
and so
information.
now we're gonna have now I'm gonna date myself. Okay, so basically that Super Bowl commercial that was like from Budweiser that was like what's up. So for years when I was in college, it was just like we just all said what's up to each other, like on the phone, like all the time. He was like what's up. So we all used to do that. So that was just. So I'm dating myself. I'm like, yes, I'm officially. Drew was put in the lower third. Milton is old.
And likes Budweiser.
And so
That was better than the frogs, though. I don't know they rather the frogs.
Oh, yeah. Right.
right.
Oh my gosh. It's so yeah, but we don't. But we will not mention these brands no more because they don't pay us. So it's like, hey man, I mean we're reaching
zeitgeist.
Yeah, we're reaching more people now. You know what I mean? So no, but it's super cool to be able to do that, and so it's good that you don't have like you're not risking your life for Christmas decorations, and we're not. Where you set yours up a couple months ago. That's crazy.
Yes.
That's
I'm
still crazy.
I'm technically not supposed to agree with you. Like I said, I'm just kind of unwilling labor. But I just know the routine. I've been programmed or
Conditioned.
indoctrinated now
You've been
where I
indoctrinated.
go get the tubs, and I know I get reminded the night of Halloween, hey, you know what tomorrow
and
is?
my wife does the same thing. She's just like, okay, can you go? Can you move your truck out of the garage?
I was a Halloween family growing up, so like my house was the scariest house on the block for miles. Kids,
really?
Oh yeah, like my mom and grandma were both off the end of it. They had the scary house several times. It was we'd post somebody at the end of the block because there were 2 kids that were too scared to come down, and my mom would feel bad or my grandma would feel bad, so she'd have somebody giving candy.
Your house was that scary?
Oh, it was the scary
would
house. It was a scary
So
house.
it was like the skeletons in the front
all
yard
of it,
and
all of it.
And like the coffin that if you walk by something pops out.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the whole thing. So
spending your paycheck on a pop-out coffin as opposed to paying the mortgage type addiction to Halloween. Like
Well, we had a house in our neighborhood that was like that. It was on the corner of Moser, kind of a busier road, and they turned it like a little haunted yard. They wouldn't charge, but they give candy to you. But it was you'd walk through a maze, and they had the fake chainsaws, the chainsaws with the.
I've seen people get that. Like again, this is when I was a kid, and so we used to go to Caulfield's, which was the old school Halloween store. I mean, it's there year round, and it's got everything. And if you let my mom loose in it, you weren't coming back with any money, and you're going to have to go pick up a truck to take everything home.
And it was 4 stories of novelty items.
It was insane.
Big. But the family that had this crazy haunted house or haunted yard, they didn't let you go in the house. It was all in the yard. They eventually, upscaled it and opened Grim Trails. So they have a big professional haunted house. Yes,
okay.
it's them. They started it.
I've done Grim. I love Grim Trails.
Oh, yes, it's great. So
yeah.
That we had.
Cool.
And back then they didn't have any rules or waivers, and so one of my friends was a smart aleck and upset, I guess, one of their kids or workers, and he chased him a good 500 yards down the street with a fake chainsaw, and my buddy's just running down the street away from him, and we still laugh about it to this day. He didn't know the blade was off of it, and he said something, "You're not going to scare me," and it was a real smart aleck, and the guy jumped out with a fake chainsaw, and my buddy took off, and the guy thought it'd be funny if he took off after him, and they made it. Passed around the corner, we couldn't see him anymore. So
wow. And so basically, so we're gonna wrap up here. But what do you want Santa to bring you for Christmas? You know, in our household, Santa brings the gifts.
Sure.
All right. What do you want Santa to bring you for Christmas?
I think a gift for everybody would be lower interest rates. So let's see if we
Come
can
on,
get the
that's
fat guy
it.
to deliver some rate cuts.
yes. To deliver, drop them down the chimney.
Yeah.
Yes.
Throw a whole bunch of basis points right down my chimney. I'll call Pal up. I'll take care of the rest. I'll make sure we quantitatively ease our way down.
And yes,
to the
we want that, and we can end there actually because that will help everyone.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You know what I'm saying?
World peace.
Yes, of
all
course,
the songs
of course.
start playing in the background.
Right.
It's all great.
Right. What about you, Hampton?
I was just trying to think how that would fit into the song there. On the last day of Christmas, lower interest rates. Yeah.
Right.
That'd be good for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm pretty blessed. What I'd like to see. Gosh, my immediate thoughts go to the kids, things that they'd want or they'd want to enjoy or go. But we'll be taking a little trip and so I think blessing others would give them. Or volunteer. They'd like to do some volunteer work. So I'm gonna need to set up another volunteer weekend. We all volunteered out at the Cedar Lake Lodge. They had a stroll, and the daughters did that, and their little friends and a boyfriend came out, and everybody had a good time. And
you let your daughter have a boyfriend?
The 17-year-old, I can't stop him. I tried beating him away with a stick, and the younger one's going to probably be even worse.
You didn't scare them? You didn't take them to the
clean my
garage,
shotgun when they came?
Clean your shotgun?
No, I didn't.
Because I have I can let you borrow, as my daughter say, pew pew.
Yeah.
You pulled off the internet. You say much else nowadays.
Yeah. Right. It's so. So basically we have so for Christmas, one of the things I want is a new hire. Get a new hire for 2026. I think we're expanding here at the Investor Tribe, so we want to hire someone as we've been expanding. I think it's just been absolutely amazing, and people have been joining the communities. People have been going to imvtribe.com and they join the fire starters. We need to get you in the fire starters to kind of help the new people as well, and so it's just because you probably will be in the builders community, so that we have several different communities that are in that's on the website. So if you go to imvtribe.com, you can join several communities. So the first one that we encourage most people to join, if you're under 5 deals, you can join the Fire Starters community. Okay.
And that's a free one. It's still free.
And that's free. It's still free. And you can join another community called the Builders. And so those are for a lot more of the experienced investors. And literally, when you're posting in that group, you have to be serious. We encourage you to have at least, 10 deals under your belt to be able to be part of the Builders community. And that's for, syndications, other types of, things, or just high level commercial deals.
It's a guarantee of quality, right? Like in the builders group, where you want to project that the people in there are SMEs, true subject matter experts that can give you the data you need. Fire starting is mainly for getting that motivation, finding other people in your group. It's all about being around what fits your need at the time, and you can grow through both of them. Yeah,
I totally agree. And so we also have Pathfinders, and those are for our agents, brokers, lenders. And so those are Pathfinders. Those are the subject matter experts, and allows a community just for us to be able to pass leads and pass referrals to each other, to be able to say, hey, I got this deal that I'm trying to move. It's on market. I'm trying to move it, roast my listing, help me out, or I have a referral for you down in Bowling Green
or Florida,
or in Florida. Right. And so that's a way to communicate. And you can say, hey, I'm looking for this in Florida. Members from Florida can kind of chime in and be like, and so we also have channels that you can join as well. So there's channels that are local to us. We also have the marketplace. That is outside of Fire Starters, that is one of our hottest communities because it's deal flow. We've been having the marketplace since the beginning of December. So we started Marketplace in the first Monday in December. It was super cool. It's only 30 minutes. It's all on Mondays. Every Monday. So you can go to imvtribe.com, sign up. It's all free. Everything that we talked about is free right now. And so you can join us. And so I think that is absolutely amazing. So
and we also got a few letters or questions from people out there. We have John do the honors of reading some of these questions we get. Looks like the first one's from Tanya K. And it's right up your alley, what she's talking about.
Yeah, no.
In Huntsville, Alabama. Yeah. Come on. I was, shout out to Huntsville, Alabama. Like, I just think people are watching now. Like, it's super cool. So
I went to the Space Center as a kid there. I love Huntsville.
Yeah.
It's one of my most fond memories as a child, is go to the Space Center.
See, that's super cool. That's super cool.
All right, so Hampton, this one's from you. As you said, it's from Tanya K. in Huntsville. What is a subject to agreement?
There is some communities out there, some lenders or some closing attorneys that will do these type of transactions. Others shy away from them, but there's basically an agreement where you're going to be paying someone's mortgage or buying the property subject to the existing mortgage. There's some potential pitfalls. There's some rules you want to follow. There's some ways you want to do it, and they're not extremely common. They become more commonplace the past couple of years, but and it's allowed on the HUD or the TRID. It used to be called the HUD 1, now the TRID statement, closing statement. But you just want to make sure you cross all your T's and dot all your I's and do it correctly. So contact a professional and or a the title company. Ask them if you've got any questions about that. And you may decide it's not, hey, I don't want to do this. I don't want to take over someone's mortgage because they may be way behind. They may not have a good interest rate. It may be better to call John or a lender and get their own loan and pay off that previous loan. Some of the benefits could be that you may be able to get a property that had an old 2-3% interest rate that you can't get right now. If the person wants to keep that mortgage in place and all parties are amenable to it, it can make sense to keep that in place if everybody's in agreement. There are some risks and benefits and drawbacks to it, so be careful. But that's basically what it is: a subject to agreement. Buy the property.
And I'm all for subject to agreements, even though I'm a lender, and that's kind of contrary to what I do because there's no new loan for me in it. Subject to agreements can be excellent, but compare them to financing it with your lender to see what the real cost is. A lot of times people will come up to me and they'll say, hey, I got this subject to deal. It's at 3%, but it's only on the remaining $80,000 of a mortgage. and they got to pay $70,000 of their own money out of pocket to get it. I'm like, how much are you losing by not having that $70,000 invested anymore and keeping that old loan? We ended up just doing a whole new loan for roughly $150,000 to get everything caught up and money out, and he now has money he didn't have before to begin with, and 100% ownership of a property without the leave behind mortgage. So some subject twos are fantastic deals. Some are better off with just done as a loan. So make sure you're comparing them both side by side.
I definitely, and that's what I was going to recommend, because I sat with a couple that wanted to do a loan assumption, and I just basically said, well, can you call my guy? Or they were like, well, we want to do that because we want the lower rate. And so that totally makes sense, because I think a lot of people are hungry for the lower rate. And this rate, especially if you bought 4 or 5 years ago, you're in a sub 5% interest rate environment, and you're thinking, I don't want no parts of the higher interest rate environment. So I think there's hunger there, and I think there's a lot of opportunity. So our next question is from Sally R. in Paris, Kentucky. Shout out to Paris, Kentucky. I've been to Paris, Kentucky. When I first moved to Kentucky, I was working in a different business industry, and I went to Paris, Kentucky, and I texted my wife and said, hey, my job took me to Paris. And so And so, yeah. So
and did you drive by Versailles or Versailles on the way there? Yeah.
And so, yeah, I thought
they're both in Kentucky.
I thought I was cool, and I was like, and I was like, hey, I'm in Paris, and people were looking at me kind of crazy, but I'm from Michigan, so it was not like, I just didn't, So anyway, so Sally's question is, where do you even find deals? So that just sounds, that sounds like you may have some conversations about deal flow. We want to encourage you to, look, this is the Investor Tribe podcast, and we're going to encourage you to go to invtribe.com and go to Marketplace, where you will see, the Marketplace. We're going to have a recording of our Marketplace up for the next month. So through the new year, through January, you'll be able to see it. But then, in order for you to see it, we're going to, you have to have a different kind of membership. And so at least for right now, you can literally see our recording of the Marketplace. But you also find deals by joining. You can join our Facebook group, in Next Gen Extra Investor Tribe on Facebook. You can also you can also join our meetups. And there's different things that you can do to look for deals. And
they've got a different MLS over there. You may be able to find deals on market.
Yes.
You can find them off market, talk with wholesalers, network, go to meetings.
Yes.
Auction sites. There's websites.
Well, and just in general, make noise, right?
That's so true.
Tell people. I cannot stress this enough. If you want anything in your life, just make noise about it. Talk about it in general conversation with the people that mean the most to you, and tell them why you need it. And those people will hear, when they hear someone else, third party, say, well, I might need to X, they will try to connect those links for you. That's what people are always looking for. People want to be good people. You just have to make enough noise for the right ears to hear it and translate it out. And you can make noise very cheaply nowadays. You can go on Facebook, make one post, and share it to 150 different groups that says, are you in foreclosure? Is your house distressed? I can help buy you out. Share. 3 seconds, and you can probably get 5, 6, 7, 800 contacts. So don't be afraid to make noise to get the deals that you need to get done. And of course, consult your professionals.
Of course. And so we just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. I think, this has been an amazing season for us. And what I love is recently our producer and our marketing guy, Drew Cookmaster, basically said we've had in 2025 1 million views across platforms.
And growing, an upward trajectory for more each week.
Upward trajectory.
Month, yes.
That's the way to go.
So I it's kind of interesting, because what that does is just, I'm celebrating, but I also feel that as a responsibility, right? I feel like that's just responsibility. Like more people are seeing you, more people are commenting on what you actually say. Because we started off this podcast and it was literally, I think John, you watched maybe a couple of our episodes in the beginning. It was John, it was you, my mother, your dad, like it was like 5 people watching our podcast, and it was only because I spammed you several times with it. That's the only reason why you watched it. Yes. You were like, dude, stop sending me text messages with the link. Okay. Okay, I'll be on your podcast.
You ain't even called him during a podcast.
Right?
Live.
Yeah, I
Hey,
think we did.
We've only got 3 people viewing. You're supposed to be the fourth one.
For what? Can you join us? You were like, look, okay, I'll be on your podcast.
I got loads to do.
Right.
I'm sitting here in a closing just watching docs and like, oh, look at me. You too.
It's super cool, but we want to thank you, John. I think
thank you guys for having me.
We just
man.
thank you
it's always
so
fun.
much, and we want everyone to go to imvtribe.com and you can watch us. And for season 2, we will be next week. You can join us on Thursday, and then it's Monday and Thursday of every week. So we're going to be twice every week in 2026.
And John, how can people get hold of you?
Yeah.
They can call me directly at 502-417-2192 or go to homeloanswithjohn.com and they can find me that way.
Home Loans with John, and John.
J-O-H-N. Homeloanswithjohn.com.
Love it. So thank you so much. Thank you so much to everyone who has supported us through 2025. And we're going to wrap it. Let's go.
Yes, I'm Hampton Scurlock.
I'm Milton Ali. Skip the guesswork and join the tribe. And if you want, like, comment, and subscribe.
Skip the guesswork, do something different with your life. Invest the drive, invest the fire. Skip the guesswork, do something different.